Stephanie Abrams here, dashing through the airport. I'm going on an adventure. I've got my backpack, I've got my laptop, I've got my traveling shoes on. Come along with me. Let's hit the road now. And what's the first thing we're greeted with? The most magnificent rainbow. Not much of a drive from Dublin Airport is Clontarf Castle, and there is a wonderful painting of what it looked like. And there is a wonderful photo of what it looks like today. And would you like to stay there? Look at the entry, walking in through the stone walls and past the armor, the magnificent lobby with those grand tapestries hanging. And something new's there. There is a kind of Cirque du Soleil act going on those ropes. But let's go check into our lovely castle-like room. Isn't that lovely? And there I am sitting in my window seat reading the newspaper. Look at the close-up. On the front page, our Congressman Richard Neal from the 1st District in Massachusetts. Waiting for me in the lobby was Stephanie Hayes. She's an executive with Clontarf Castle. Look at that, Stephanie squared. And now it's time for something yummy to eat. So that's a ravioli with a lobster something going on inside. And that foam is goat cheese foam and beet puree and smoked salmon. Lamb. Ireland known for its lamb. And this chicken dish is covered in baby broccoli. I love this dessert. It's not on the menu. A menu is just a recommendation. So let's take off after resting at Clontarf Castle and head north. We're on our way to Larne. You can see we're on the A8 motorway, and Larne is in Northern Ireland. The Irish Sea is on our right. And you can see a car coming at us. It is on the left side of the road. We're going to go through this tunnel. And as we come out the other side, what a grand view. And we're headed, of course, we're always hungry, for the Brooklyn Bay Diner. They have the best ribs. You'll notice that this diner could not possibly really be in Brooklyn because look at the emblems they got on the wall. You really think there'd be a Boston Red Sox emblem on the same wall with the New York Yankees emblem? But we're there to meet my wonderful friend, Dr. Tim Campbell, who is the executive director of the St. Patrick's Center in County Down. Come down to meet us. That's Muck Island. And you're viewing Muck Island from Island McGee, where you'll find Maiden's View, a wonderful self-catering cottage. See that gorgeous stone cottage? Self-catering means that there's a fridge and everything else you need. It's a villa that you've taken over. Look at the beautiful backyard overlooking the waterfront. Isn't that gorgeous? Daffodils, fresh daffodils, and this was 2 days before St. Patrick's Day. And the daffodils came from the garden in full bloom. That's the view from the bedroom, people. 2 bedrooms. And the wonderful, look at that corner tub. Isn't that yummy? And the kitchen, look at the view from the kitchen. See, it's all about the view for me. $1 million view. And we're going to head southward. We're going to County Roscommon, and we're going to stop at the Keenan's Boutique Hotel. But on the way, look at the things you pass. Look at that castle. Is that not gorgeous? And now look at this. You know what that is? That sign's telling you there's a speed camera. Don't go over 40 miles per hour. And you're in Northern Ireland, so it is miles per hour. The soldier up there on the side of the castle, that's a model. That's not a real thing. But that palm tree is a real thing. And people say to me all the time, palm trees in Ireland? Yes, in abundance. And sculptures, both in Northern Ireland and the Republic, everywhere you drive, everywhere you go. So we're heading southward now. And you see the signs along the route letting you know there are places to distract you from your purpose. But we know we're still in the UK because there is the British flag. But if you're feeling lonely for home, look what you've got. A McDonald's and a KFC along the way. So let's follow the motorway signs. We're already in the Republic of Ireland. And we've brought along our own GPS system. As we're driving, we see everybody is getting ready to enjoy St. Patrick's Day. This was actually on the 16th of March. And now we're in Monaghan, where they're touting the parade coming up the next day, the 17th. Lots of signs to remind you. Great signage in Ireland. And darling streets. Is that not adorable? So here we go. You see the sign to Enniskillen? We don't want to go that way. That's back in the north. But that's where Rory McIlroy, the famous golfer, started as a child being a prodigy in his activities as a golfer. So we're back at Keenan's Boutique Hotel. You can see more about that in episode 20, Stephanie's Romantic Hideaways. And it's a darling place. And the reason I want to show you the bathroom, when you see those towel warming gadgets on the wall, anything that needs a little wash, throw it over that towel rack and it'll be dry within hours. So we're going to continue our drive and we're going to head around the area. That's the Shannon River. And before we leave the Keenan's Boutique Hotel, we're going to have a quick lunch. Look at that seafood chowder. Is that not gorgeous? Look at that. And now we come to Lanesborough in County Longford. And it's a darling town getting ready for a parade. And the sign that's going up is the Twin Town banner celebrating Lanesborough, Massachusetts and Lanesborough, Ireland's relationship. People lining up across the street from the reviewing stand, getting ready for the parade. The musicians in the pub practicing before they, actually it's a warm-up session, before they begin at the reviewing stand. But now we're going to go off and watch the parade. We're here at the Lanesborough, Ireland and County Longford St. Patrick's Day Parade, and it's on St. Patrick's Day, led off by the Garda, the police department, and they're marching.
We have the Irish Veterans Association, Vincent Casey, taking the salute here, and there we have our band, and there we have our band marshal. So any unit on the tally, give her a big round of applause and a very big round of applause, proudly celebrating St. Patrick's Day here in Ballybunion.
She's just become an Irish citizen.
Watering hole in this part of the country and getting into the spirit of St. Patrick's Day. Nice float there. And here comes Rosie's Bar. Rosie's Bar. This seems to be a tool on a different way, as far as I can see. Looking for Shane Ross. Is Shane in the audience anywhere? And Rosie's Bar are giving us a message there as well. Up there, wouldn't have mind having it. No number plates, it must be brand new. Hello ladies, how are you all doing? Lanesborough ICA.
I'm sitting with Adie Farrell from Farrell's Pub. Is there a float from Farrell's Pub in this parade?
There is, yes, you got it.
Nice
We're gonna watch for it.
Ladies, give us a wave, ladies, come on. Now here we have the great Lanesborough Community College and their way away there. Well done. Well done, and of course drug and mental health awareness. A very, very important message coming out there to us today. Jackie Coyle and his Massey Ferguson 4221. You know what? That had a good show a while ago. It's looking absolutely fantastic. Now, we have a group here. Who are you folks? Have we got a banner? They have a football anyway. Huh? Is that Ballybunion? Oh, so I should know you lot. Now, look at them. These are doing a big job. They're asked the Turk, and they're having a big launch on the 24th. It's the Oscars. The Oscars are coming to Lanesborough, and the launch is on the 24th. And there's a real smart looking guy here with a jiggly bow and glasses and a shirt that's whiter than pure snow. But Ballybunion have huge plans here, and you can see it's happening on Saturday, June the 15th, 7 p.m. Tickets are just €25. Up in the community college, the great community college. I'm asking the people, please, to come out to that next Sunday evening at 6 p.m. This is a big and very valuable project for the whole area, and hugely beneficial to all of the youngsters. So please support it, and please give the organisers a big bull of us as well, because we need leaders like this in our area, in our community. Come on, give them a big round of applause. And we have a sister act behind the band, as you can see. There's not a bit of green to be seen, as you can see. Not a bit of green, but they're black and white. So give the sisters a big bull of us. Come on, let's hear it for them. Looking horrible well. Okay, we can move, I think. We can get Ballybunion moving again. This is all for the young people of the region. It's very important. 6 nuns and 1 man with a big bowler hat on. Hanley's based between Strokestown and Elpin, major employer in the region. Not alone here, but in Dublin and other parts of the country as well. So again, just acknowledging a major employer in this Longford Roscommon region is Hanley Group. Of course, owners of Kilronan Castle and the Lockring Hotel as well. And I know lots of farmers around here are buying lime off them. So there we have a nice Hyundai digger.
We're going to go visit other places in Ireland, including Ballybunion, and we'll be back later to catch up with the rest of the parade. So stay with me. We'll be right back. We're in County Kerry at the Listowel Monorail and Train Museum. Let's go inside. I'm delighted to be with Jimmy Dinahan, the genius behind what we're about to share with you, and so much more, and with Martin Griffin, who is the head operations person here at this wonderful museum devoted to the Lartigue monorail, and it's in Listowel, in the most southern part of Ireland. You can't get too much farther south or you'll be in the drink. It's a pleasure to be here with you. Thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you, and thank you for coming here and honouring us with your presence. This is a very historical project and very much part of railway heritage in the whole world, because there's no train like this anywhere. So we're really privileged to have this project here, but also that you should come and visit us.
Well, I have to tell you, it is a delightful drive to arrive here on the west coast of Ireland, in the most southwestern part of Ireland. And for all of you golfers out there, a hop and a jump to Ballybunion Golf Course, which has a wonderful global reputation for golfers. How long have you, Martin, been associated with the Lartigue monorail?
I started here in 2003 when it started off at the end of 2003, and since that it's more or less taken over my life, because I think there's a great need where museums are concerned to preserve history for the younger generation that's coming up. A lot of them wouldn't appreciate that there ever was a railway, and we've actually lost 2 railways, the main line and the Lartigue railway. So that's the whole idea behind the museum here and the train itself, that we keep the memory of Lartigue alive.
I want to tell you something else about lost railways in Ireland. It was in something like 1934, more or less, when the trains stopped running in Connemara and running into Galway. And if you read or see Martin McDonagh's play, Beauty Queen of Larne, which ends with one of those, did it really happen? Didn't it really happen? Is the main character just imagining what happened? If you know about the railway and when it stopped running, you'll know the real ending to that play. Well, we're going to talk some more with Jimmy Dinahan, who has the most remarkable history himself that we have to learn about, in addition to learning about the Lartigue monorail. And we're going to do all of that as you continue to see wonderful vistas of the interior of this grand stone building. So let's have a look around the Lartigue Monorail and Train Museum. This is the part devoted to the train. Notice the signage in Irish there. And look at this adorable tractor. Man, I would like to drive that one around. But have a look at the simple tools used. And there you see the Cross the Railway footbridge sign. You're going to see more about the footbridge, which I find fascinating in the film we're about to see. That was created, a black and white silent film to show what the monorail was all about. Now the Great Southern Western Railway, notice there, they were very clever. They built hotels. Still you can find them in Ireland, called the Great Southern Railway and the Great Northern Railway hotels, to get people to go to destinations and have a breakaway on the weekends to fill the trains up. Let's watch the film. You can see we are at the Lartigue Railway, and we are about to watch with you a film that was discovered in archives. Now, Jimmy Dinahan, a founder of the Lartigue monorail, how did we come upon this material?
Well, an archivist in the Ford Museum in New York was organising all of their archival material, and she came across a footage on Ballybunion Railway, County Dublin, and it really puzzled her because she was from Dublin. So we were launching the project here, and it was in a local paper called the Limerick Leader, and she saw it online, and so she then made the connection, and she gave us this very valuable material footage from 1916.
And the interesting thing about it is we're reading this information, it's 130 years ago.
That's right. Well, the footage was from 1916, obviously, and Lartigue had been up and running for almost, I suppose, 20 years at that stage or more, so it was well established. But Ford sent over a film crew to Ireland to, I suppose, film, and it was in the early stage of film at that time, various unique kind of other attractions that were going on in Ireland at that time. And so this was one of the unique ones they decided on, and we were so lucky that we have this footage now, because it's really part of the museum, and it explains to people how this unique railway worked. As I was saying, it was the only one in the world.
Now, it's a monorail, and it ran from where to where, Martin?
From Listowel to Ballybunion, which was around 9.5 miles. And at the time it was very, very unique, insofar as a lot of people would never have even seen a railway prior to the Lartigue arriving. And it was so beneficial to mainly to the people of Ballybunion, because of the railway, more tourists were able to get to Ballybunion. But also, at the time, people were travelling the 9 miles to Ballybunion to collect sand to spread on their land. But the railway were able to draw the sand in much larger quantity and sell that on to farmers around County Kerry, and they made quite a bit of money out of the sale of sand.
And the reason they needed the sand?
This was spread out onto the land to help to fertilise the soil, and that's so. It was quite unique in a lot of sense. As well as getting the visitors to Ballybunion, as I say, it was also a way of drawing sand and bringing goods to Ballybunion, which they didn't have that opportunity to do before.
Now this train, you actually have the original train?
No, it's a replica of the original, but we had a lot of photographs of the original, and we had some drawings as well. So it was manufactured by Alan Keefe, Ross and Roy in England, and he's a builder, or the company is a builder of heritage railways, and he took on this challenge, and we got very good value for money, let me say, and got an excellent product, and it's functioning very well. We maintain it obviously during the winter months when it's not working, but it looks very pristine, the locomotive and the engines, and it's done to a very high spec, and it's a very much a replica of the original locomotive and carriages.
It's interesting, you just saw in the lower left corner the Pathé logo, and in early films when people would go to the cinema, they'd see news from Pathé in the newsreels. Now we've just seen a bridge come down so that local people could cross the tracks. Is there more you can tell us about this, Martin?
Well, it was unique insofar as that the bridge could have been operated by the general public, and to our knowledge it was the only railway in the world that had to actually stop and allow the people to pass, whereas normally you stop and leave the train pass. But it was a concession given to the local people because at the time there was slight objection to the railway, so this was a special concession that they got, that they were allowed to stop the train, lower the flying gates or double drawbridge, and allow people to cross from one side to the other.
So when people come to visit the museum, they can buy tickets to go on the train?
They can, and look, it's quite fascinating. You see the costumes of the people, how they dressed, how the women dress, for example.
Well, now let's talk about that, because there are a couple of ladies' coats and hats I wouldn't mind in my own wardrobe.
Well, there are, and obviously it shows, I suppose, a bit of a class divide as well. There were landed gentry in North Kerry at the time, and also this was during, I suppose, a period, you could say, of occupation, and there were some very wealthy landowners, but also there was the peasantry, as was in every country at that particular time, even in the UK itself. But they're fascinated by the dress of the people, and then you have some, I suppose, the doctors and the legal people as well coming off with their briefcases. So even that alone, it's a very important clip from that point alone, actually.
So we're looking at something that reminds me of where the trolley turns around on the cable car in San Francisco. You've got a kind of Lazy Susan round table that's going to turn the train around?
Well, they adopted some of the engineering of the Lartigue, and turntables anyway were common at the time. But obviously the whole technology of the Lartigue was applied elsewhere as well. And we're looking here now on the video of they taking sand out of Ballybunion, and Ballybunion is a famous golf course, and if the Lartigue had continued, actually it might have drawn away a lot of those great sand dunes now of what is one of the world's most famous golf courses. And that little clip even of they taking sand out of the dunes in Ballybunion is very important. And there is a photograph as well of people playing golf, actually, and the Lartigue is on the background taking sand out of the dunes. So from that point of view, you can read so much into this little video alone of the social history of that particular time in Ireland, that's why it's like gold.
Imagine that was built originally in the late 1800s. Remarkable. And in that barn, you'll find the reproduction of the Lartigue monorail that we're going to go with Jimmy Dinahan next to Ballybunion, where we're going to get involved with Marconi Day. So stay with me.
Celebrating 100 years of broadcasting from the Kingdom.
This is Radio Kerry.
Let's go and meet some more guests now who have joined me here in the Radio Kerry outside broadcast unit. Delighted to see Jimmy Dinahan, who is here. Jimmy, good to see you.
Thank you very much, Deirdre. Delighted to be here.
And I'm looking forward to talking to you as well. And you have brought Stephanie Abrams with you. And tell me about Stephanie before we talk to her and what her connection is with today.
Well, she's a huge broadcaster in America, and she has done more for Irish tourism than anybody else, I'd say. She's been promoting all of Ireland, but especially Kerry, actually. She did a special promotion on West Kerry that was very, very beneficial to West Kerry and resulted in large numbers of people coming from America. But she's been a true friend of Ireland and a friend of Kerry's, and now, very most importantly so, a friend of Ballybunion's.
Very good, very good. Stephanie, you're so welcome.
Well, thank you so very much.
Is this your first time in Ballybunion?
You know, I'm not sure. There's a real good chance we probably drove through at some point when we were going from Glyn Castle or somewhere and come along the peninsula and come around. I really should say it probably is my first time, because the first time I'm really having experiences here and meeting wonderful people along the way as well.
And as a lady who's involved in radio yourself, you really will appreciate the significance of today.
Oh my gosh. This is such a wonderful place, and I know that golfers are well aware of Ballybunion, but it shouldn't be such a niche market story. And wouldn't it be wonderful if we could catch the attention of broadcasters and get them to come? And what better ambassadors could you wish for? Because what are they going to do? They're going to go home and they're going to talk on the air, whether it's radio or TV, about their experience in Ballybunion,
which has a special connection to radio.
Exactly. I mean, you know, it's just I've got chills talking about it. So yes.
So you're enjoying your time here anyway.
Oh, for sure. I mean, if you come to Ireland and go home unhappy, something is terribly wrong with you. But just in general, hospitality comes naturally to the Irish, but we are in a place where it just bubbles over out of every pore of Mary and James. I can't remember these. Oh my, it's the Beasleys. How could I forget that? Mary and James, and these people have put their heart, their soul, and every penny they had into creating this wonderful oasis. Everything about it is just, and they are just so lovely. And it's called the 19th Lodge. And if you were any closer to Ballybunion Golf Club, your bed would be on one of the tees or the putting greens. So I can't wait to share the interviews that I've done with Mary and James here at the 19th Lodge.
Oh, so this is a bit of a working holiday for you, Stephanie.
People ask me all the time when I say we're going somewhere, where are you going next? And I tell them, oh, you're going on holiday. I don't know what a holiday is, because we talk about travel. Now, how can I go anywhere? I go wonderful places. I meet wonderful people. I have fabulous experiences. How could I not share that with my audiences? So we take all the portable equipment with us wherever we go, and every day is a working day. I don't know how to do it otherwise. Well, I'd be terribly selfish, don't you think?
Jimmy, I for one am delighted as someone from the town that plaque is being unveiled to Marconi later on this afternoon, and that his daughter will be there. And it's not before time. It's so important to acknowledge that historical link.
Very much so.
Okay, very well, Mike. I'm going to, next QSO will be from Princess Electra, so please stand by, over.
Hello, Canada. Hello, Canada. This is the Marconi Golf Transmitter Station at Ballybunion Island. Can you hear me? Please report signals.
Now this is Victor Alpha 1, Victor Alpha Sierra. Good afternoon, Princess Electra. We are reading you 5 by 9, 5 and 9, over.
Yes, we have receiving you.
And Jimmy, I didn't realise that you were friendly with princesses in your spare time, and you have a very special connection, as Kevin Callahan explained, because it was you who got Princess Electra here.
That's right. Well, I know her for some time, and she's just really a sweet woman, if you want to describe her as such. And from the time we met, through Mark Leslie, let me say, we just hit it off in every sense of the word. I think the fact that she was born in 1930 ensures that my wife doesn't get too excited about her relationship. But no, she's just a wonderful woman. She loves Ireland. She wants to be part of Ireland. She loves that Jameson connection. And she's a real connection between Ireland and Italy, actually. And the reason why she wanted that passport, she wanted to be branded Irish. And she wears green whenever she's travelling. And she even looks a bit Irish, so that Jameson, I suppose, heritage DNA is breaking out in her.
It's breaking out in her, yeah.
I have come here with great enthusiasm for my father, and also for the friendship I have with Ireland, that his mother my grandmother, my father's mother, Annie Jameson, was the only one that believed in her son Guglielmo when he was a young boy, that he was making these experiments that looked rather crazy to other people, but she knew that he would succeed, and she always standed by his side. So I'm very grateful to my grandmother, Annie Jameson, and also to Ireland, that they feel that my father belongs to them, and I am very proud to have this wonderful Irish blood.
Yes.
And I always wish to come back to Ireland, because I'm quite Irish.
You look Irish. Princess.
More than that, she's a great knowledge of Ireland as well. And her son, Guillermo, he was taught by the Christian Brothers over in Rome, and he is really very fanatical in Ireland. And now this connection with Ballybunion, both yourself and myself, they are passionate Ballybunion people. And this could be a really important connection for Ballybunion, I think, in the future.
And how great was it to have Marconi's daughter here today?
It wouldn't have been an event without him. Now, in all fairness to TJ McCartan and all the people, they made a great effort to get people together, to get the schools in and all the rest. But it would be like Hamlet without the princess.
Without the princess, exactly. Stephanie, you'll appreciate this radio, despite all the the comings and goings of Netflix and TV channels and satellite TV and the whole lot, people still love radio, don't they?
Oh, absolutely, and it becomes easier and easier. When we do a broadcast, you and I, when it's done, it's done. If you missed it, you missed it. But having the opportunity to then have it archived online, have it podcast, have people be able to download it, so when they drive out of the range of whatever station they're accustomed to listening to, they can still get us.
They can still get us. And it's an important historical record too. I mean,
fabulous.
Even an event like today will be put on the Radio Kerry podcast, on the Radio Kerry website, and people will listen back and they'll know that this very historical day was marked in a special way here in Ballybunion.
Well, and we'll take our sites, sabrams.com and travelers411.com, and we'll link it to it, so our folks can get to your website and listen to it there.
And make the world an even smaller place.
Fabulous.
Very proud to be Irish, of course, and I am the same. I have the same feelings than my father.
So it was so important, like this woman was born in 1930. It was so important to have her here. Here we have, like, her father was the father of radio. The man's influence in world history is just immense. At times people maybe didn't realise
the connection,
or the importance of Marconi to Ballybunion. So hopefully we can use this as a platform. And as Stephanie says, like, it's so exciting about it when you really realise it. And even for someone like yourself, Deirdre, who has become a broadcaster from being a journalist, you know how important broadcast is, and you know how important how to connect with people, and radio has connected with everyone all over the world, even more than television.
Absolutely.
And Deirdre and myself, we go back a long ways. I can remember Deirdre in nappies now.
We won't go into that now, Jimmy.
But I don't live in Ballybunion, but I spent all my life here. My longest memory actually is my father taking me into the sea in Ballybunion when I was about 3. But I just love this place.
Well, listen, you're so welcome here, Stephanie. I'm so glad that you've had a great experience here.
And I thank you for your time and interest.
And Jimmy, always good to talk to you. And well done in bringing Princess Electra here and her family.
I'm just delighted.
Yeah, and we'll talk to you again.
I think the princess probably was more important to visit than Bill Clinton's to Ballybunion.
There's a statement for you. I hope Bill isn't listening. Listen, great to have you both. Stephanie Abrams and Jimmy Deanahan, thank you both for popping in.
Happy Marconi Day from your local voice in the kingdom, Radio Kerry.
We're in Lanesborough, County Longford, Ireland for the St. Patrick's Day Parade. Let's give a listen as the MC brings us up to date.
For you today, I was telling you about this. We have, to be really conscious of our roads nowadays and road safety. So we're going to have a little demonstration here, and the purpose of this today is to, bring home to everybody the importance of our fire service and the role that they play in many situations. So this is under Station Master Kevin Madden and all the lads. There are 9 lads stationed here in Lanesborough. We have somebody that is in a distressed position as per what we're doing here today, and the fire service are going to rescue this person from the car. And you see how quickly they have got to the driver. So within a few minutes of the arrival of the firemen, the car is being dismantled. There we have another door gone.
You see the fellow there in the white helmet?
And there's the 4th door gone. It's extraordinary.
That fellow is Vinnie McGowan.
Removed the car doors. They have got to the patient. They know they're going to release the patient from the driver's seat. So you have 7 of the firemen involved here now in taking the person out of the car. So we're still, I suppose, not 5 minutes here. It's just amazingly quick how they're trained to get to the individual. How these people work and how well they're trained, and the level of commitment they have to saving lives on our roads. And I again say to people, and we have to be really, really, really serious about road safety. So I don't think this car will be in use anymore.
Yeah, don't text and drive, but that's what this demo is about.
So here we go. We now have an open top car.
It's now a convertible.
And again, letting the seat back so slowly, and now we're sliding in the, I suppose, mini-type stretcher.
Incredible skill.
3 of the firemen making sure that there's least disruption for the driver of the car. I have to say, we're in very capable hands here with our local fire service. And outstanding, and that's putting a huge lot of, he's up. He's up and about and he's around, he's okay. Well, again, I really think we should give a very warm round of applause to our fire service here today, and what a display. I think this is just an extraordinary exercise here today, it really is. And it's still driving, not too bad.
Amazing that car drives.
Ladies, come on, children. Big round of applause. Thanks to Kevin and all the lads, thank you very much indeed.
Oh, special thanks and God bless our firemen.
Now, here's Tom Morris Hackney.
How cute is this? Tom's taxi.
To collect a few customers.
They collect a few customers in Tom's taxi.
I don't know what we have. There's every sort of bits and pieces here. And Tom Morris Hackney again with the bicycles and the little carts and the Matthew Burton. And well done. Well done.
Well done indeed.
Now this is another fantastic development for the region, and Longford Distillery. It's been a very exciting time watching this develop, and well done to the family.
This is Irish gin, not whiskey.
And we wish them
Slingshot
well.
Irish gin.
How is the slingshot going? Good. Nancy family, and the youngsters dressed up as well. And employing people locally as well, and I know they have great plans. And I think in the overall tourism scheme of things, this will really
They gave us a bottle as a gift.
Longford Distillery, a big round of applause. A very positive development.
We haven't opened it yet.
Here we have Brendan Dunnan with all the...
Here come the cars.
fancy cars. We have a 969 Corvette.
American cars.
Gold. Then we have a... that's from New York State.
That's style.
We have another Corvette here. And really stylish. We also have a Chevrolet.
A Chevrolet?
Silver
Isn't
blue
that a
Chevrolet.
Corvette?
Beautiful to have them
Made by
really.
Chevrolet,
Really
but
something special.
it deserves
Thanks to
its
Brendan
due.
Lennon for bringing these cars into the trade here. They're all looking fantastic and spanking clean and everything. So lovely to have them. Now we have another very important service here, and these people do great work up and down the country. The Lochry Sub-Aqua Search and Rescue Unit. Again, voluntary folks, and they travel to all parts of the country to help out when unfortunate situations occur.
Bless them
So
for
again,
their
I
work.
wanted to show you appreciation for the Lochry Sub-Aqua Club. Fantastic group of people. Well done, folks.
Bravo. Look at the little ones lined up on the sidewalk.
Now, to still a bit
They're
of
loving it all.
Thanks be to God. Michael Hanley, in the business for many, many years. The Hanley family from down in Corrow.
Those are
And
peat
if
briquettes,
you're running out of turf in the
still
shed, I see
used
some big
to
bags here
fuel
in the
fireplaces all
Michael
over
will see you
Ireland.
later on. So
They're
give,
ingots
Michael Hanley and family
dug out of the
a big
ground,
round of applause
and they
as well.
smell so good when they're burning.
Now, look, isn't this fantastic to see our
Aren't they
scouts out here
sweet?
today? And I have to compliment
Ballybunion,
the
that's
people
the
in Scouts
combination
and all
of
the good work they're
Ballylee
doing.
and
Fantastic. Look at
Lanesborough.
this is one of the most successful clubs around. Look at this for colour and display, and thanks to their leaders as well. The Zombie Pirates.
Pirates.
Wow. Let's hear it for the
Fabulous.
Ballybunion Scouts, ladies and gentlemen.
Now, if you walk to the left, you come to a little bridge about 2-3 blocks up
Ballylee Field Renewal
that
Training
crosses the Shannon.
And a very important message coming there. Help the bees.
And when you get across that bridge,
There's a very
you're in
important message.
Ballylee.
Because you know, a few years ago, when you talk about bees disappearing, people would laugh at you.
So the two towns butt one another.
About the importance of bees in having a good environment in terms of green environment. And unfortunately, our bee population is all over the world disintegrating, and that is
Good
very
message
bad for
there.
mankind.
Save the bees.
Just read up about it. It really is bad, and it's certainly nothing to be
And
laughed
Clark's
at. So
Bar.
we must love our bees. They won't sting you, I'm telling you.
All these folks are going to pile in there
Now here we have MCL and Agri
and into Farrell's Pub to the left and half a block up when this is over.
So based here in Lanesborough, another very successful business, agri and fuel supplies, and supermarket as well, employing a considerable amount of people, and I suppose. Now here we have Lady Lanesborough's Tidy Towns.
Yeah, in Ireland, they have
So, I know
something
they're
called
doing
the
great
Tidy
work this side
Towns
as well, so we
competition.
appreciate
And
what they're doing as
towns,
well.
villages, cities of similar size compete for the title each year of the tidiest towns, cities in Ireland. It helps every town keep its buildings painted and its flowers everywhere, streets clean. It's a great idea.
165 Massey Ferguson, great factor the word too. That's like a 65. Is that a 65? A Massey Ferguson 65. Bring in the 35. Is that a 35? No. 25. We've all sorts of numbers around here.
Wow, look at that tractor.
Here's
Look
our
at these
35
vintage
now.
tractors.
Lovely little tractor it was in its day. Keep going forever.
There are a lot of farms in the area.
So here we have the Triathlon Club, Lanesborough Triathlon Club. Another fantastic group operating in this area. You know, there's so much happening in this locality. Amazing. So here are the people from the Triathlon Club. All nicely decked out today in various colours.
Lanesborough, County Longford, Ireland, Triathlon Club.
We'll start from about that. So give them a big round of applause.
What a lovely experience for these kids. And I have to tell you that in 2007, when my husband and I twinned Lanesborough in western Massachusetts with Lanesborough in County Longford, Ireland, through getting the county councils all sorted out, they hadn't had a parade in 47 years. And I said, well, have a parade, we'll come. And that's when they started their parades in 2007. Again, wonderful.
Afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. A fantastic parade, it must be said. Great variety of stuff. A round of applause for everyone that took part in the parade. And thanks to everybody for turning out. Great turnout. We're very lucky with the weather, considering what we had yesterday. So well done to everybody for coming out and supporting the parade. It's a very important activity annually for the town, for the Lanesborough Valley League. So we want to continue it year on year and try and make it stronger and stronger year on year. And thanks to the mainstays in it, Teresa and to Frida, who do Trojan work in organising the parade every year, and loads of others in the background. I know Chris Cullen is there, Hughie Smith, Steve, Alan.
You'll find that in Ireland, everybody remembers to thank everybody
for taking part. I want to say a special welcome also to Stephanie and Mark Armas. They're here from Lanesborough, Massachusetts in Boston. It's great to have them, and they'll bring the story back to America with them, how great this place is and how great Lanesborough looks. And well done to the Title Towns Committees, Lanesborough and Valley League for keeping the place so well. So thanks to everybody.
Well, I want to thank them very much for making a room for us on the reviewing stand.
What a lovely parade, ladies and gentlemen. Would you put your hands together, give everybody a big round of applause for the effort put in, and you know, even we had the fine weather for the duration of the parade, which is fantastic, and it's great to see such a crowd.
Fabulous. There you see the sign for the Twin Towns, Lanesborough, Massachusetts, and Lanesborough County, Longford, Ireland. What a wonderful experience, and thank you for joining us today.